pro-Fubara lawmakers' seats vacant. Governor Chukwuma Soludo signs local government law. ASUP gives federal government 15 days ultimatum. Federal government introduces e-gate technology. Missile strike injures 16 persons in Ukraine. CAF postpones Libya vs Nigerian AFCON qualifier. Burna Boy tops charting songs.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back. We'll go through the details of these stories. Rivers State House of Assembly has declared the seats of Edison Ehie, the Chief of Staff of Governor Similaye Fubara, and 3 other pro-Fubara lawmakers vacant, following their absence from sitting for 152 days. Making this known during plenary today, Speaker Martiname Hule pointed out that Ehie did not properly write to inform the House of his new office, and as such, his seat has been declared vacant.
The first question I put, those for 24, against nil, abstention nil. For the second question, those for 24, against nil, abstention nil. The third question, those for 24, abstention nil, against nil. Honorable members, by this voting, it is now clear, and it is now the position of the 10th Rivers State House of Assembly that relying on the provisions of Section 109, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution, and of course Section 109, subsection 1E and F, that the seats of these 4 members have been declared vacant. Members whose seats have been declared vacant are Honorable Edison Ogere Ehi. Until today, he was representing the people of Ahoda East Constituency 2. The second person is Honorable Victor Okojombo. Until this voting, he was representing Bonny Constituency. And Honorable Sukare Goodboy Sukahari. Until this moment, he was representing the people of Ahoda West. And Honorable Timothy Orubimeha Adolphus, who until this moment was representing the people of Okobo constituency. Honorable members, their seats have been declared vacant.
Regarding Victor Okojombo and the two others, the House held 3 separate votes to declare their seats vacant for absenteeism from sitting for 152 days consecutively without notification or permission, in violation of the 1999 Constitution.
And by your decision, we'll be sending a letter to the Independent National Electoral Commission urging them to quickly conduct elections to elect new representatives for these constituencies.
The Assembly further agreed to write to INEC to conduct elections to replace the now vacant seats within 90 days to provide representation for their people. Also, the House agreed to give Governor Fubara another opportunity to present the 2024 Appropriations Bill, following the nullification of the appeal by the Court of Appeal of the 800 billion naira, which he had presented to the Parallel House led by Ehie Edison.
Honorable members, let me also make a very important remark flowing from what has transpired in the Court of Appeal. Honorable members, you are aware that the Court of Appeal has painstakingly looked at the judgment of the Federal High Court and upheld all injunctive reliefs set out in that judgment. The governor had appealed, but the Court of Appeal upheld that judgment and dismissed the appeal of the governor. I must say I was in court, I listened to the justices on that day, and the remark was made very sternly, and it was made clear that Rivers State has no budget. We have always known that for 2024, there is no appropriation law. The governor has been spending without approval. We have been getting calls from our constituents, leaders of this state, of this country. People are urging us to have a human face in all of this. But we are representatives of our people. We love our state, Rivers State. We want peace in this state. That is why we have decided to heed to the pleas that we should give the governor one more opportunity to present the 2024 appropriation bill.
Still in Rivers State, analyst has cautioned the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara over his inability to constitutionally control the party activities of the political party in the state. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, a political analyst, Chizi Nyoma Sila, expressed concern over his current political status and the electoral processes in the state.
Took the caretaker committee chairman, who is the APP chairman, to become the APP candidate, which is a caretaker committee chairman, their own caretaker committee chairman, to become the APP candidate. And some factors, you know, some persons there, and I know them, I was there, I saw them, said no, we wouldn't allow that. They took the AA person, and the AA person was now announced. Immediately on Monday, the APP person was now made commissioner. I don't understand whether you understand that.
Chizi also expressed dissatisfaction with the just concluded local government polls and appointments in the state.
I'm telling you that, now look at all of this. No, please, now look at all of this. That shows you that he was working with the APP. That means that all the people that have nominated must be somewhere. But since a guy, now stay, allow us to announce this person, you will come up with this. That's just what happened. We have a way of pretending it was on national television. I say fact and I say the truth.
ATN reports Ibrahim Manga, acting National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, said The governor of Rivers State rejected the offer to control the state's political structure. Speaking with the media, Manga recounted that the PDP National Working Committee approached Fubara to nominate a candidate to fill the vacant position of the party's chairmanship in Rivers State. He said Fubara turned down the opportunity to nominate someone for the position, insisting that Nyesom Wike's predecessor should choose a nominee. Niger Delta Development Commission has pledged a strategic partnership with the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. The NDDC Executive Director of Corporate Services, Ifedayo Agbegunde, who disclosed this when the chairman of the NIPR River State Chapter, Mr. Francis Asuk, led a delegation of courtesy visits to the NDDC Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Obuku, at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt. A statement issued in Port Harcourt on Tuesday by the NDDC Director of Corporate Affairs, Ms. Seladi Thompson Wakama, said Obuku, who was represented by the Executive Director of Corporate Services, highlighted the importance of reputation management and the critical role of the NIPR playing in maintaining a positive national image. He said a well-managed reputation could attract international investments, while a negative image could deter potential investors, while the Executive Director of Corporate Services encouraged the committee to formalize its partnership proposal with the NDDC. Speaking earlier, the chairman of the NIPR, River State, Mr. Francis Asuk, said the delegation was at the NDDC to discuss the upcoming NIPR 2024 week and would not be complete without the participation and sponsorship of the NDDC. In Bayelsa State, the All Progressives Congress has reversed the suspension of the Minister of State for Petroleum on Oil, Mr. Henneken Lukbobiri, and other party chieftains. This followed the convening of the extended meeting of the party involving members of the state executive, sitting state assembly members from the party, and the local government chairman of the party. The single agenda was to deliberate on the festering crisis arising from the suspension of the critical stakeholders of the party in southern Ijaw, Ekeremo, Sagbama, and Yenagoa local government areas. And among those suspended was the Senator Henneken Lukbobiri, former APC governorship candidate in the 2019 pool, Chief David Lyon, amongst others. A communique issued on Tuesday after a press conference held at the party secretariat in Yenagoa, the state capital, and signed by the state chairman of the APC, Chief Dennis Otiotio Odoni, and the acting state secretary, Otaimo Tabaprie, said the suspension was put on hold after a plea from the minority caucus of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, who is the only elected member of the party from the state, and after extensive deliberations. The communique said the extended state executive committee of the party resolved to suspend the ratification of the chieftains' suspensions to further consult with critical stakeholders of the party as advised by the APC caucus of the State House of Assembly. Rights group of the Human Organization for Human Rights and People's Rights, Protection and Humanitarian has strongly condemned the noticeable upsurge in kidnapping incidents across Delta State, which tragically culminated in the loss of divisional police officer among other gallant operatives on a rescue mission on Monday. The group said the circumstances surrounding the killing of the newly appointed and posted DPO Agbaho Division, CSP Jega, said it is alarming and unacceptable as the circumstances of criminals have assumed a worrisome dimension in the state. A statement signed by the Public Relations Officer, Ms. Rosemary Shioma Isilim, said, who was the Delta State Deputy Governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party in the 2023 gubernatorial election, said the group extended its deepest condolences to the Nigerian Police Force, particularly the Delta State Command and the family of the deceased officers. He also said the tragic event underscores the urgent need for a comprehensive approach to tackle the rising crime rates in Delta State and calls on all stakeholders, including government agencies, community leaders, and civil society organizations to collaborate on developing effective strategies to combat kidnapping and other forms of violent crime in the state. This is coming after the early hours of October 14, 2024, a team led by 2 divisional police officers was ambushed by suspected kidnappers near the Agbaho railway station, an incident which resulted in multiple casualties and injured among the police rescue team, while CSP Paul Obowere, DPO of the Oreko Division, was critically injured and is currently serving and receiving treatment at an undisclosed hospital. Analysts have condemned the gruesome murder of the Delta State Division police officer Jega and some of his men. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program, a socio-political analyst, Comrade Chuba Okbozo, expressed concern over the alarming rate of insecurity in the country.
It's a pity that the brave officer who took the lead, so to speak, in an operation of this nature had to go down this way. But this is the present Nigerian state. Nobody is really safe. The entire system the place is so tense. The hunger in the land, people want to make excuses for it. But whether we like it or not, it will only increase criminal activities, only increase tension. And until something is done and done differently, these are the kind of stories we keep.
Okpozo also stressed on the need for proactiveness among the military, the police force and other security agencies to safeguard lives and property of citizens.
The person that is alive in Nigeria today should be giving God thanks, because the Nigerian state is one state that has come to, I will say, every time we say it's the lowest ebb. During the previous administration, we said it was its lowest ebb. Now I think we are getting lower and it's still the lowest ebb. And we just hope we don't get further down the ladder. But be that as it may, it's a condemnable incident.
We stay with Delta State, where the government has proposed a budget of 936 billion naira for the 2025 fiscal year, following concerns over the rising debt burden of the state due to challenges posed by the exchange rate. The Commissioner for Economic Planning, Sunday Ekedeyen, who disclosed this on Tuesday during the opening ceremony of the budget defense in Asaba. The state's capital said the state, like the rest of the country, is grappling with difficult economic conditions and urged citizens to adapt to the current realities. Ekedeyen stressed that the state government would be strict and realistic in its approach, which aligned with the government's vision, adding that Delta revenue to debt ratio over the past year stood at 97%, meaning nearly all of the state's earnings were consumed by its debt obligations. He also said the 2025 budget proposal was based on actual receipts from 2024 June to date, reflecting the state's financial constraints. In Anambra State, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has described absolute autonomy for local government areas in Nigeria as an impossibility, insisting that it will be a recipe for chaos. Soludo, who disclosed this while signing the local government administration law in Akwa, said the attendant challenges before the issue of local government autonomy are such that would certainly deepen the fate of the system and spell doom for the expected beneficiaries of the process. Soludo said where Section 7 of the Constitution comes handy and the Anambra State House of Assembly has risen to the occasion, while the Supreme Court did not nullify Section 7 of the Constitution, adding that the new laws of Anambra State by the House of Assembly are therefore consequential to give operational life to the Supreme Court judgment and not to undermine it. He also said the State House of Assembly abdicates the constitutional duty and the local government will have no law on the use and management of its finance, which the Constitution has given to the State House of Assembly the mandate to legislate on, while many of the State House of Assemblies retain the power to suspend or remove chairpersons of the local government. The governor highlighted some of his achievements in the local government sector since he became governor of Anambra State, including now he inherited a local government system with four-year arrears from 2018 to 2022 of gratuity to retired primary school teachers and other staff of local government, adding that most of the local government secretariats have been remodeled and already equipped. Management of Urban Radio 94.5 FM in Enugu State has accused the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission of storming its studio to arrest one of its presenters, Favor Oko, during a live broadcast. According to the station, the incident occurred on Monday during the station's primetime program, and the station alleged that AFCC operatives who were armed barged into the studio, interrupted the ongoing broadcast, abducted their presenters, and seized communication equipment without explanation. The station assured its listeners that it would provide updates as the situation unfolds. And while responding to the developments, spokesperson for the EFCC, Dele Oyewole, denied the allegations, stating that there was no invasion or seizure of equipment. According to Oyewole, the EFCC was acting on an arrest warrant for Eko, who is suspected to be involved in a Ponzi scheme that allegedly defrauded 103 Nigerians, and clarified that the EFCC only arrested Eko and did not take any equipment. He also said Eko had previously been invited multiple times for questioning, which she failed to attend, necessitating her arrest at the station. In a different story, 45-year-old man identified as Kazim has drowned in the river of Odo Tente, a boundary community between Lagos and Ogun states. Eyewitness said Kazim allegedly had consumed a substance suspected to be hard drugs, popularly known as Colorado, before the incident occurred, which he ran uncontrollably and jumped into the river. The public relations officer of the Lagos State Police, Benjamin Hudeyin, who confirmed the incident in a statement, said a complainant reported at the Alagbo division and detectives from the Alagbado police division visited the scene to assess the situation and took photographs of the deceased. He also said while the father of the deceased was contacted, he directed that the victim was be buried at the riverside, according to the local customs, while the police investigates the incident. In Lagos, the police commander has dragged two men, Chigoziem Obi and Joseph Mpogbo, from before the Ojo Magistrate Court in Lagos over alleged stealing of chairs valued at 9.6 million naira. The defendants are standing trial before the magistrate A. Alade on a two-count charge of stealing and conspiracy, to which the two men have pleaded not guilty. The prosecutor, Inspector Esther Adeselu, earlier informed the court and the defendants that the defendants committed the offences on September 21st at Olojo Drive in Ojo, Lagos, and alleged that the defendants conspired to steal 40 pieces of chair, brand known as airport chairs, all valued at 9 million naira. The prosecution said the offences contravened the provisions of sections 287 and 411 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015, while Magistrate Alade granted bail to each defendant in the sum of 1 million naira respectively, with two sureties each in like sum, and then adjourned the case until October 17th for mention. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has launched the commercial operations of the Red Line Rail. Sanwo-Olu, in a statement, said the train service will move about 500,000 people daily on the corridor, adding that commercial operations will run from Agbado to Oyigbo for the government to ramp up the schedule. This is coming after the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu inaugurated the Red Line train project on February 29, which marks the launch of commercial operations of the LMRT Red Line, kicking off passenger services from Agbado to Oyigbo in Lagos State. No fewer than 18 million residents are expected to be vaccinated for preventable diseases under its non-polio supplemental immunization schedule to start October 19 this year in Lagos. The Supervising Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Primary Health Care, Dr. Abimbola Bowale, who disclosed this while speaking to journalists at the media orientation on non-polio supplemental immunization organized by the State Ministry of Information and Strategy, described it as a way to increase awareness on the forthcoming vaccinations, which will hold in all 57 local government development agencies in the state. This is in partnership with United Nations Children Fund. According to Bowale, 85% of people from the 9 months to 44 years will be given yellow booster doses, while other vaccines will be administered too, while children within the ages of 9 months to 18 months will receive measles vaccination, HPV vaccines against cervical cancer that cover from 9 years old to 14 years, and polio, among other routine immunizations. He said the goal is to achieve herd immunity, and that only way to do so is to ensure that nothing less than 95% of the eligible population receive measles vaccination and 80% of the eligible population receive the yellow fever vaccination, and enjoin journalists to ensure to use their platforms to educate and create awareness about the impression and benefits of the supplemental immunizations and the safety protocols. Speaking also, the immunization program coordinator for Lagos, Dr. Akinpelu Adetola, said the forthcoming immunization campaign was necessary to address the recurrence of outbreaks of vaccine-preventable diseases in the last 3 years in Lagos. In Ogun State, the police command have arrested 3 members of a motorcycle snatching syndicate terrorizing the Owode Egba area of the Obafemi Owode local government area of the state. The command's public relations officer, Omolola Odutola, who disclosed this on Tuesday to newsmen, said the suspects were apprehended following a reported attack on the resident of Ijemu Kokoye village in the Shimuowo Expressway. Bajela also identified the suspected robbers as Adegboyega Sarafa, Soliu Bakonle, and Sogo Idris, alias Agbara, and armed with the identity of suspects. While the police operatives tracked the 2, recovering a locally made gun and machete used in the attack. Odusola said their arrest followed the apprehension of one member of the syndicate who had gone to rob the Sele Ejiri community, and upon the arrest and interrogation of the first suspect, identified as Kudri Yusuf, he led police operatives to their hideout in Idiaro area of Mushin, Lagos State, where two other members of the syndicate were then arrested. In Kwara State, Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak has announced 100 million naira support for the families of the victims of the recent boat mishap, which claimed lives of no fewer than 200 indigenes of Bajido village in Kayama local government area of the state. The governor announced that the support during a visit of the Emir of Kayama, Alhaji Omar Muazu. A statement signed by his chief press secretary, Rafiu Ajakaye, Abdurrahman Abdurazak again commiserated with the Emir and the people of Kayama on the incident that underscored the reason for more institutional checks on water travel. Ajakaye said the governor also conveyed the condolences of President Bola Tinubu to the monarch and the people of Kayama, adding that the delegation of the president could not proceed to Kwara because of the bad weather that prevented them from flying. The Emir commended the governor for his visits and for earlier sending a powerful delegation led by the Speaker of the Kwara State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Yakubu Salihu Danladi, to the affected Bajigbo community. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a remark during the 40th anniversary celebration of Abuja Archdiocese of the Methodist Church on 13th October 2024, advised the Methodist Church in Nigeria to remain steadfast in prayers for their communities, the nation, and her leaders, saying that their prayers remain a source of strength and guidance. President Tinubu was represented by FCT Minister Yesomezi Onwike, who called on the church to continue its work of service, outreach, and mission of compassion to work hand in hand with the government, following the tenets of the Renewed Hope agenda to help Nigeria that will meet the collective aspirations of the citizenry.
The government recognizes the importance of collaboration with faith-based organizations in addressing these issues. Together we can mobilize resources, provide essential services, and advocate for the voiceless. The church can also inspire moral leadership and ethical governance. I urge you, therefore, to remain steadfast in your commitment to prayer, not just for your communities, but for beloved Nigeria and its leaders. Your prayers are a source of strength and guidance as we navigate the complexities of governance. As leaders, we are acutely aware of the weight of responsibility that rests on our shoulders and are dedicated to overcoming the obstacles that confront us. Today, I call upon you to continue your service, outreach, and compassion mission. The challenges we face as a nation require a united front. Your church can be a platform for social transformation where individuals come together to enact change, promote peace, and uplift the people. By working hand in hand with the government and embracing the tenets of the Renewed Hope agenda, we can create a Nigeria that reflects our collective aspirations.
News. According to the president, the church has been instrumental in promoting peace and unity in Nigeria through its messages of promoting love, reconciliation, and understanding. Congratulating the Abuja Diocese on reaching the 40th anniversary milestone, he urged the congregation to reflect on the Methodist Church impact in society and to recommit themselves to the value of love and service that the church embodies.
As we celebrate this momentous anniversary, let us reflect on the profound impact of the Methodist Church on our society and recommit ourselves to the values of love, service, and unity that you embody. I once more congratulate the prelate Methodist Church of Nigeria, His Eminence, Dr. Oliver Aliaba, Methodist Archbishop of Abuja, Most Reverend Dr. Michael Akinwale, and all members of your congregation as we celebrate 40 years of Methodism in Abuja. I wish you God's continuous blessings. Thank you for your unwavering dedication to our nation and for the blessings of your prayers. May God bless the Methodist Church, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
In a different story, Niger State Police Command has rescued a kidnapped victim and gunned down 3 kidnappers during a gun duel in Bakiko Forest in Moko local government of the state. The command also nabbed one Samaila Sadiu, suspected to be a member of the Kachela armed bandits group in Izom, Guarara local government area. The command disclosed that the command's disclosed this through the public relations officer SP Wasiu Abiodun in Mina, that a victim was adopted by suspected kidnappers at Takuma village, Mokwa area, and another one was shot on the hand but taken to the hospital for treatment, adding that one receipt of this, a combined team of police and vigilante members were mobilized and trailed the suspected kidnappers to Kwakiko Forest, and one AK-47 rifle with 3 live ammunition was recovered. He said investigation into the kidnapping incident is in progress, while efforts are in top gear to arrest the fleeing members of the gang. Speaking on the suspected member of the armed bandits group, Samaila Sadiu, the PPRO said he was arrested in the Izom market on 28th of September 2024 by the crack squad team of the command, based on actionable technical intelligence. In Niger State, the government has raised alarm that some suspected fraudsters have forged the appointment letters of the state government and employed officials who are now on the payroll of the government, adding that the activities of these fraudsters have resulted in the delay of September salaries to genuine appointees. As a result of the development, the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Binta Maman, said a screening exercise was now compulsory for all political appointees in the bid to weed out the fakes among them. Maman, who disclosed this in a statement, said only those who scaled through the screening exercise would be paid their salaries. The commissioner, who decried the heavy salary portfolio of the state, which she informed the press now amounts to 600 million naira, insisting that the government has decided to identify the real appointees of the government and checkmate the system so that it reduces the expenses and burden of the government. Maman also said Governor Bago has good intentions with the idea of inclusivity and deliberate attempts to bring everyone on board, and urged the appointees to cooperate with the committee saddled with the exercise so it would be seamless and quick. Speaker of the Niger State House of Assembly, Honorable Abdul Malik Sarkindaji, has said he would sponsor a bill for the establishment of an inter-tribal agency in Niger State. The speaker, who disclosed this on the sidelines of Conference on Inter-Tribal Communities in Niger State, said it was to put together the Office of the Governor, Mohamed Bago's Special Advisor on Inter-Tribal Matters, George Dike, for the establishment of the Inter-Tribal Agency in Niger State because of the support enjoyed from the inter-tribal community in Niger State. The speaker, in an earlier address, did not mince words in applauding the pivotal role that the inter-tribal community was playing in strengthening the bond of unity in the state, as well as its contribution to economic prosperity. The event, which also had in attendance the Niger State Governor, Special Advisor on Political Matters, Ma Kolo, as a key figure, drew a large crowd of the inter-tribal community in the state, including traditional rulers of various ethnic groups and other dignitaries. In Zamfara State, Governor Daud Alawao has announced the local government elections in the state will be held soon, following recent amendments to the electoral process. The governor, who disclosed this during a meeting in the State House Council, stressed the importance of conducting democratic elections in a local level, in line with the Supreme Court's recent ruling. At the council meeting, Lawal also inaugurated Bala Aliu Gusau as the chairman of the Zamfara State Independent Electoral Commission, marking a key step of his administration's preparations for the upcoming local government council polls. According to a statement by the governor's spokesperson, Suleiman Idris, the tenure of the current leadership, comprising the 14 sole administrators, will end on October 23, 2024, and highlighted that he had recently signed amendments to the Zamfara State Electoral Law, which pertain to the forthcoming local government elections. The statement also said, during the Executive Council meeting, Lawal informed members about his recent participation in the 79th United Nations General Assembly meeting, describing it as a valuable experience and expressed optimism that it will result in positive outcomes for his administration, ongoing efforts to improve the lives of people of Zamfara State. Another notorious bandit leader, Kachala Ibrahim Gorgondaji, has been gunned down by military operatives in the Mada area of Gusau, Zamfara state capital. This is coming after Kachala Ibrahim Gorgondaji was eliminated in Kwana Nasiru community, a village located in the east of Mada town in Gusau local government area of the state. A villager in the area, Muhammad Ismaila, said it was a tough battle between the military operatives and the bandits, adding that the dreaded bandit leader was widely known for his criminal activities, including orchestrating violent attacks along the Kwatasha-Kwashi Mada Road and other neighboring states and areas. The state command spokesperson, ASP Yazid Abubakar, was yet to make any comments on the matter. Hoodlums have attacked the factional secretariat of the People's Democratic Party in Makurdi, the state capital. Bede Bartolomew, media aide to Senator Gabriel Suswan, said the assailants arrived in 3 vehicles, broke down the gates and forcibly entered the office and ransacked offices, carted away with some documents into their awaiting vehicles and left. The attackers also removed furniture and documents from the secretariat and loaded them into the trucks before policemen intervened and normalcy was restored. In Sokoto, the Governor Ahmed Aliu has inaugurated a special committee on sales of assorted food items to the people of the state at a 55% discount. The governor said his administration had procured food items and other essential commodities to be sold at a discounted price. Speaking during the inauguration, the governor reiterated that the sales of these food items are meant for every resident of the state, irrespective of their political or ethnic differences, adding that this administration introduced various palliative measures to the people to address the effect of subsidy removal and the global economic meltdown. The governor, however, called on the well-to-do individuals and corporate bodies in the communities not only to support the program, but also complement the efforts of the state government by extending the provision of such basic food items and other essential commodities to needy and less privileged in the community. In his remarks, the committee chairman, Chiso Datijo, commended the governor on the move, which he described as the right direction at the right time. Suspected gunmen have again killed 5 persons in Bokos local government area of Plateau State. Residents of Rafford village in the Kwatas district, where the attack took place on Monday night, said the gunmen first ambushed 4 young men who were guarding their family homes in the village and killed them on the spot. Witness said the attackers therefore stormed the compound and killed an elderly man before they fled the area, bringing the total fatalities to 5, while the killings occurred shortly after the security meeting with stakeholders in the locality. The chairman of Boko's Cultural Development Council, Farmasun Fudang, confirmed the killings on Tuesday in a statement he jointly signed with the association secretary, Duan Bosco, and demanded an urgent establishment of a civilian task force to address future occurrences. The Plateau State Police Command was yet to make a public statement regarding the killings. We want to Borno State now, where the government has taken delivery of 669 doses of vaccines from UNICEF and partners for the vaccination of residents against cholera in the state. While receiving the vaccines in Maiduguri, the Director of Disease Control and Immunization of the Borno State Ministry Primary Health Care Development Board, Fatih Ali, appreciated the efforts of UNICEF and partners of transportation for transporting the vaccines from Lagos to Borno State, noting that UNICEF is one of the partners supporting and collaborating with the 100% of the state. Earlier, the UNICEF Chief of Maiduguri Field Officer Dr. Gerida Bukukila said the second batch of vaccines had 300 doses to arrest the spread of cholera in Borno State, especially in the IDP camps and among the vulnerable population. Berukila urged the residents to go for oral vaccine, stressing that it does not have any side effects. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us.
people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water, and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats, and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women, and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors, and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
A warm welcome back to the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. House of Representatives has urged the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) to make an official complaint to the Confederation of African Football and the Federation of International Football Association over the dehumanization of Super Eagles players and NFF contingents by the Libyan Authority on the 13th of October 2024 in Libya, while condemning the inhuman treatment meted out on the Nigerian football team, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, by the Libyan Football Federation. House also sympathized with the Super Eagles and appreciated their patriotism during the ordeal. These resolutions, among others, were reached by the House during its plenary on Tuesday, following a motion by Honorable Kabiru, My Palace, in Zamfara.
Note that the Super Eagles of Nigeria was expected to play a return match fixture of the African Cup of Nations qualifier against Mediterranean Knights of Libya on Tuesday, 15 October 2024, after they were defeated by the Nigerian Super Eagles 1-0 at Uyo Stadium, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, also note that the Super Eagles of Nigeria flew to Libya on Sunday, 13 October 2024, to play that match that's slated to take place at Matthias of February Stadium, Benghazi, Libya, at 8 p.m. today, Tuesday, 15 October 2024. Further note that among the Super Eagles contingents are House of Representatives members led by the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Sport, and also the Deputy Governor of Edo State, members of Nigerian Football Federation Board, and the entire crew of Nigerian Football Federation. Mr. Speaker, concerned about frustrating 18 hours ordeal faced by the Super Eagles of Nigeria at Al-Brak International Airport in Libya, where they were left stranded on arrival at 14 hours on Sunday, October 2024, till the team and the contingent departed from the airport after 18 hours. Also concerned that the team and the delegation were en route to Benghazi in Libya before the aircraft was unexpectedly diverted mid-flight to the Al-Abrak, a small abundant airport that reserves for emergency in Al-Abrak, Libya. Mr. Speaker, also disturbed that despite the abiding reply to a small airport with little or no amenities, the Libyan authority does not allow the team to get out of the airport or move to their hotel No access to internet, no food. The airport was cordoned and they were held hostage for 18 hours. Mr. Speaker, worried that the Nigerian Football Federation, in a statement on Monday, 14 October, decried the chaotic situation and inhuman treatment meted out to the Super Eagles and the entire contingent, unable to reach their hotel in Benghazi, which is 3 hours away from the airport. The cognizance is that the fatigued and the frustrated players resolved not to play the match any longer due to the hostilities by Libyan Football Federation.
The House also called on the federal government of Nigeria to immediately invite the Libyan ambassador to Nigeria for questioning on the developments in Libya, while the Committee on Sports Development was also mandated to investigate the incident and report back to the House of Legislative for further action. The House of Representatives investing allegations of corruption against the EFCC and the Nigeria Correctional Service will visit the Lagos offices of the two agencies on Monday, October 21st, 2024. This is coming after allegations were made by controversial crossdresser Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, through a recorded telephone conversation obtained by the social media influencer Martin Sotse, popularly known as Very Dark Man. The chairman of the investigation committee, Ginger Owusibe, said the committee would visit Lagos for its investigation, while the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, following the development, ordered an investigation and the immediate suspension of the Deputy Controller of Corrections in charge of the Medium Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri. Lagos State, Michael Anuga, and the Deputy Controller of Corrections in charge of the Maximum Security Custodial Center, Lagos State, Sikiri Adekunle, fielding questions from the panel. Otse, who presented an audio recording of Bobrisky, claimed that the crossdresser disclosed that he never spent time in a prison facility but in a private apartment throughout his incarceration, after allegedly parting with a huge sum of money, while officials of the EFCC and the NCOS who attended the investigative hearing denied the allegations. A week after his appearance, Otse released another audio in which Okuneye allegedly claimed that he paid 5 million naira upfront to a senior advocate of Nigeria in an attempt to secure a federal government pardon over money laundering charges filed against him by the EFCC. While the unnamed SAN had initially requested 10 million naira for his legal services, but explained that he, Bobrisky, was unable to raise the full amount as the EFCC had frozen his account. The House of Reps has resolved to investigate the ill treatment of the Nigerian national football team by Libyan authorities during the now boycotted African qualifier match. The House directed the House committees on sports and foreign affairs investigate the matter and report back within 4 weeks. The resolution followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by Kabiru Amadu during plenary on Thursday. This coming after the Super Eagles and Nigeria Football Federation flew to Libya for a qualifier. However, they were detained at the airport for over 14 hours. This is after their flight was diverted mid-air to a remote location, while the players subsequently refused to play the game and returned back to Nigeria, with the NFF filing a petition to CAF in protest. In the motion, Amadu lamented the treatment of Nigerian delegations, stating that the action of North African countries must not be allowed to go unchecked, while the House resolved that the committee should probe the circumstances surrounding the entire ordeal. Senator representing Kano South, Sumailu Kawu, has advocated that elective and appointed political office holders must be subjected to drug tests before assuming office. Contributing to a debate on the floor of the Senate on Tuesday in Abuja, Senator Kawu alleged that political leaders buy drugs for their supporters during elections. Before he was ruled out of order due to non-alignment of his arguments with the principle of bail, the senator equally alleged that most security operatives are drug peddlers. He made the declarations in a debate on a bill to establish the National Institute for Drug Awareness and Rehabilitation to coordinate and promote awareness, prevent substance abuse, and facilitate the rehabilitation of drug users, sponsored by Senator Rufai Hanga from Kano Central, adding that the Hydra-headed problem of drug trafficking and consumption has eaten deep into the fabric of the society.
As I am speaking now, most of our officers in our constituencies, most of our political office in our constituencies, most of our houses, when you go there, you will find out that there is mountain of drugs, and there are drugs dealers in our offices and in our houses, or in our houses. I am immune to talk. I am in the chamber of the Senate, and I can take you to some of the political leaders who are in so many ways contributing or supporting drugs abuses in Nigeria. Therefore, Mr. President, we need to be serious. If we are talking, we need to understand we are all 19 here. Nigerians,
thank you very much.
We will fight it between from our own side, not making law or not talking in the chamber of the Senate.
In their contributions, Senator Siriake Dixon and Adams Oshomole strongly opposed the establishment of a new agency to tackle the problem of drug abuse, especially with the existence of the NDLEA. While Senator Dixon alluded that drug consumption has fueled crime and criminality in Nigeria, Oshomole said it was better to strengthen the act establishing the NDLEA to deal with problems raised by their colleagues.
The subject matter we are dealing with is so important. We are losing the future of this country, losing the future of our families.
Thank you.
And it is fueling criminality, it's fueling all forms of crimes and misdemeanors in our colonies, and also carry out drug consultants and outreach programs, enlightenment programs for the young people as part of our own support.
The NDLEA is saddled with the responsibility of identifying, investigating, and prosecuting offenders of drug and drug-related offenses. What this bill is trying to establish is a response mechanism, a center that people that are bedeviled with that, a center that will help people that have drug-related issues. And I want to assure you, as a medical doctor, that we don't have those centers even in Abuja.
After a heated debate, the bill scaled second reading after a voice vote coordinated by the Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barau, and referred to it to the Committee on Drugs and Narcotics to report back in 4 weeks. The House of Reps also urged the federal government to address the frequent flooding occasioned by the opening of Lagbo Dam, situated in northern Cameroon. The resolution of the House followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance on the need to investigate the recurrent flood due to the opening of the Lagbo Dam, sponsored by Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda. Rallying his colleagues to support the motion, Chinda recalled that the Lagbo Dam, built in 1982 primarily for irrigation and electricity generation, released excess water to prevent overflow, which inevitably flows downstream into Nigeria, causing significant flooding in states along the river, including Borno, Adamawa, Benue, and other states. He described the recurrent loss of lives, displacement of communities, destruction of farmlands, livestock, and homes, and damage to critical infrastructure such as roads, bridges, schools, and healthcare facilities as a source of concern to Nigeria. Consequently, the House mandated the Nigerian and Cameroon Friendship Group to investigate the Nigerian and Cameroon arrangement and on the Lagbo Dam and mitigation measures and advised the House within 2 weeks for further legislative action. They also directed the Federal Ministries of Water Resources to expedite the completion of the Dasin Hausa Dam in Adamawa State, which will act as a buffer and help absorb excess water increase from the Lago Dam. Justice Yusuf Halilu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, sitting in Jabi, Abuja, has issued an interim order against the EFCC, restraining them from arresting or detaining a former Minister of Defense, Mr. Lawal Bata Gawara, over a land dispute matter. The court also restrained the Commission and its agencies, privies, or anyone acting on their behalf from inviting, harassing, intimidating, or otherwise threatening Batangarawa pending further proceedings. The order followed allegations that Batangarawa had been subjected to undue harassment by anti-graft agencies, while Justice Halilu also ordered substituted service of the originating process and other legal documents on EFCC and other respondents in the suit. Meanwhile, in an affidavit dated September 20, 2024, the applicant details various instances of harassment, including his detention at the EFCC office on August 19, and also alleged that he has been subjected to repeated summons and harassing phone calls from EFCC agents. According to him, the EFCC's actions were based on false allegations orchestrated by the fourth respondent, Patrick Ineke, and his legal representatives, who claimed ownership of the disputed plot of land, adding that the claim was allegedly based on a supposed transaction between Ineke, a deceased Miss Allah, and one Wilson Uswago, who had served as his orderly in 2001 during his tenure as defense minister. ECOWAS Court of Justice has elected Cape Verde's Justice Ricardo Goncalves as its new president. It also elected Sierra Leone's Justice Sengu Koroma as new vice president, both for non-renewable four-year tenure, and were elected by the court's college for 5 judges, and subsequently inaugurated by Guinea-Bissau's president, Umaru Embalo. Embalo is a former chairman of the ECOWAS, Authority of Head of State and Government. Goncalves succeeds Justice Edward Asante, who had presided over the court's president for 6 years, while Koroma succeeds Ivory Coast's Berry Bear Otara as vice president. Meanwhile, Justice Asante has been recommended for Ghana Supreme Court, although he still remains a judge of the CCJ until the end of his extended tenure in 2026. While under Asante, the CCJ witnessed remarkable growth and transformation in its jurisprudence, case management system, and physical infrastructure. Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, Zone C, comprising of the Southwest and Kwara states, has faulted the government for remaining silent over the 15-day strike ultimatum issued last week to address some of the issues affecting the polytechnic education in the country. The leadership of ASUB condemned an alleged undue exercise of oversight function and interference of the National Board of Technical Education with respect to the admission of students into the polytechnics in the country. The union further urges members to get set for the struggle ahead should the government fail to respond to its demands after the 15 days ultimatum issued on October 7th would have lapsed. The coordinator of ASUP Zone C, Comrade Adekunle Mosopa, who addressed this at a press briefing at Ibrahim Adesina Polytechnic, Ijebu Igbo, said it was unfair for the government to have kept mute since last week when the union issued the ultimatum, saying that lecturers would definitely not have been blamed should they decide to embark on strike at the expiration of the ultimatum. The zonal coordinator berated the government for not showing enough support for the polytechnic education, which has the mandate and capacity to drive the technological advancement of the country, saying that the union would, however, not fold its hand and watch the collapse of this crucial sector of our national development. Analysts has urged the federal government and Ministry of Education to support the planned vocational curriculum for primary schools across the country. Speaking of Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, a public affairs analyst, Emmanuel Weke, stressed on the need for adequate preparation and training for teachers, including well-qualified instructors before 2025 kick-off dates.
Who are going to be the teachers? Are they going to incorporate it into, are we going to have artisans? There is what is called change management, and there is communication. There is what we call freezing, defreezing, and refreezing in change management. The stage they are now is about the freezing period, where you have to cease the existing.
Mweke tasked the government on a more sustainable approach on the planned vocational curriculum in order to enhance the nation's educational standard.
Begin to refreeze. The refreezing process will have to do with communication, teaching the people the new norm, right? Now, we don't know who the trainers will be. These artisans, you are going to bring them. It's not just about they learn the skill of teaching. If there can be a very good, you also can attest to that. There are very good, intelligent teachers, especially those in mathematics.
Yeah.
But they lack the communication pattern, the teaching skill.
This comes as the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, said the new curriculum for basic schools will take effect from January 2025. Speaking during a meeting with stakeholders in Abuja on Monday, Maman said under the new curriculum, pupils in basic schools will be required to acquire at least 2 skills. He said private primary schools were required to adopt a new curriculum, as he promised that an updated curriculum for secondary schools will be ready by September 2025. On the international scene, the United States writes to Israel's government, giving it 30 days to urgently boost humanitarian aid access in Gaza or face having some U.S. military assistance cut off. The letter, which calls on Israel to end the isolation of northern Gaza, is the strongest known written warning from the Biden administration to its ally. The situation in northern Gaza is desperate. The UN says as it delivers the first food aid allowed into the area in more than 2 weeks, adding that about 400,000 Palestinians remain in northern Gaza. Israel says it is rooting out Hamas fighters who have regrouped in the north in an offensive which has forced closure of water wells, bakeries, medical points, and shelters. In sports, Confederation of the African Football has reached the final decision regarding the African Cup of Nations, AFCON qualifier between Libya and Nigeria. The football body has finally announced the postponement of the game after the game was slated to be played this evening in Libya. In an official statement, CAF indicated that the fixture would not proceed as planned and also provided specific reasons for its postponement. CAF will now take the matter to the appropriate bodies for further consideration. On entertainment news this evening, singer Damini Ogulu, popularly known as Burna Boy, has displaced his colleague Tems as the Nigerian artist with the most charting songs in the US Billboard Hot 100 history. He achieved the feat after breaking a tie with Tems with the debut of We Pray by Coldplay featuring him, Little Sims, El Yana and Tini Stossel in the chart this week. Tems has 5 entries on the chart, while Wizkid, who was the first Nigerian artist to debut, has 4. And Rema, CK, Fireboy, Davido and Loj all have 1 entry each. Burna Boy is 1 song away from breaking South Africa's SETA record as the African artist with the most Billboard Hot 100 chart entries of all time. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major headlines. Assembly declares pro-Fubara lawmaker seats vacant. Governor Soludo signs local government law. ASUP gives federal government 15 days ultimatum. Federal government introduce e-gate technology. Missile strike injures 16 persons in Ukraine. CAF postpones Libya vs Nigeria AFCON qualifier. Burna Boy tops songs top charts. I'm King David Obasi. Thank you so far for watching and staying with us. Continue with us on our socials, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic TV Net, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic Television Network, and on our website, atlantictv.com. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. Remain blessed.